Okay, so today's lesson, you have 4 tables, 1, 2, on the back side, 3 and 4. Okay, we're going to do number 1 all together, completely to the end. And this should help you with the 3 on the back. And it's also going to explain your project. Okay? All right. So here we have some information, okay? And it's important, number 1, that you read what it says, okay? So let's read it. It says the students in a seaside school are to have extra swimming lessons if they cannot swim. The table below gives information about the students in grades 7, 8, and 9. So we're going to look at this table here, okay? So this is very similar to your top table in your project, okay? The first one. Okay, so the first table in your project, you're going to label up on the top. Isaiah was asking me earlier. He's got Michael Jackson and then The Incredibles or Toy Story. So those are his 2 categories. So he's going to put artists, Michael Jackson or the Beatles. And then he's going to put movies, Toy Story or The Incredibles. Okay, so he's going to take the data that he collected and he's going to add those tally marks up and fill in this section here. So by his tally marks, he's going to be able to fill in this, okay? And then he's going to have to do some adding to do the rest. So we're going to model what we're doing on your project today, and we're going to solve this problem together, okay? So if I need to get my totals, what do I need to do to get these margin totals? I just need to add, right? I'm going to add this way. And I'm going to add this way. So I'm going to add vertically and horizontally. All right, so let's go ahead and take some time. Grab your calculators and start doing that addition, okay? So I'm going to do 120 plus 60 to start. I got 120 plus 60, and that's an easy 180. And there's my start, right? So I'm going to go ahead and continue adding. I want you guys to do the same. All right, so great. This is super easy, right? So we added vertically. That's vertically, sorry. And then we added horizontally, and we came up with our grand total. And if we add 460 and 74, it totals 534. If we add down, it totals our 534. Okay, so that makes, we need to make sure that everything adds up, okay? So let's go ahead and answer some questions. So A says complete the table. Check, we did that. We completed the table. How many students need swimming lessons? So what is the total number of students that cannot swim? Andrew? Awesome, 74. How many students are there in the 8th grade? Eddie? Perfect, 179. And how many of the 7th grade students cannot swim? Lauro? How many students in the 7th grade cannot swim? Cannot swim. How many students in the 7th grade cannot swim? 60. Good. Got to make sure we're reading the table appropriately. So how many students in 7th and 8th grade can swim? Andrew? Yep. Perfect, 288. How did he get that? He added can swim for 7th and 8th grade. 120 plus 168 gave him 288. Got it? Now, how many students are there all together in grades 7, 8, and 9? So we're looking at our grand total. What's our grand total, Camilo? Grand total. 534. Okay, so next we're going to look at this table on this side now. It says create a two-way relative frequency table. This is our marginal frequency. Now we're going to look at relative frequency. And this is the second half of the lesson that we kind of messed up yesterday because of the fire drill. Okay, so we're going to cover this here. Okay, so we need to do some dividing. We're going to take the information from this table and put it onto here and then come up with a percentage. Okay, so how many can swim in grade 7? So we're going to write it up as a fraction. 120 divided by our grand total of. Okay, and then we're going to take our calculator and we're going to do that division. 120 divided by 534, and it's going to give me 0.224. Okay, so I'm going to round up and I'm going to keep it at 22%. Does that make sense? Okay, and then we're going to keep going. Let's do the grade 7 cannot swim. So how many cannot swim in grade 7? 60 out of our grand total of 534. And we're going to take that and we're going to divide 60 divided by 534. And that gives me a percentage of 11%. 0.11 or 11%. Okay. Now, this one is kind of tricky, but not really. So we have a total of 534 students out of 534 students. So that should be super easy. It should give us 100%. Right? So it's always going to be 100% here. So when we add our percentages, they should equal 100% here. Our percentages across should also equal 100%. You understand? Go ahead and take the next couple minutes and complete your table. Because 3, so you're dividing 3 by 534, your calculator is going to give you a really funky number like 5.6, and then it says -3 on the side because it's less than 1%. So we're just going to call it 1%, and I'll give you that right now. Okay, so that's going to be about 1%. It's less than 1, but we're going to count it as 1. Okay? If you're finished with this part of the relative frequency table, which is your percentages, see if you can answer the questions down here. Letter G says create the two-way table. So by completing that, you've done it. So you're just going to answer H through K. All right? Yes. Once you finish your relative frequency table and you have all the information in there, G is done. So if you're done with this already, go ahead and try and answer H through K. Give it a shot. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and kind of continue with this. So your answer should look like this, yes? Let me see. All right, so your answers, guys up here. Hello, eyes up here, okay? So after you're done adding everything, your percentages should add up to 100 on the side column and 100 on the bottom column. So 86 plus 14 is 100%. Okay, 34 plus 33 plus 33 is 100%. All right, so just going off of my answers here, we're going to go ahead and answer the H through K. So it says, what is the relative frequency of students who are in the 8th grade and cannot swim? So I'm looking for an answer that is a percentage. Okay, students in the 8th grade who cannot swim. What's my answer? 2%. So we're going to say 2%. Okay. So then we're going to look at I. It says, what percentage of 9th grade students can swim? So back to 9th grade here. And how many can swim? What's my percentage? 32%. Beautiful. Okay. Now it says, what is the total? So percentage of students. So all students, all grades that cannot swim. What do you see, Frank, for the percentage of all students who cannot swim? 22%. All students who cannot swim. 14%. Okay. Now, I want to know the percentage of just 9th grade students. So how many 9th grade students altogether? Just total students. 33%. Okay? Does that make sense? So once you fill this out, you can just answer these questions based on the information in the boxes. Okay? I'm going to give you one piece of advice for the next problem here. Let's look at problem number 2. I need your attention, Matthew. Matthew, I need your attention. Okay, so for problem number 2, what does it say? It says a principal of a school with 484 students. This number here is going to be super important for you. Collected information about how many of the students wear glasses. So what is my total number of students at that school that were questioned? So that's going to be my grand total. And this is a number that I cannot get without reading this information. Okay, so you need to make sure that you read this to see if there's any information that you can add to your table before you start adding. Now this one is a lot like Monday's, right? Not everything is filled out. So you're going to have to do some adding and some subtracting to get your missing answers. Tuesday. Got it? So it's like the work we did on Monday. Tuesday. Yes. Yes, because I'm going to have to add here. And then this is my grand total, so I have to subtract to get that one. Okay? I'm going to have to add these two and then subtract it from that to get this answer. So you're going to have to do adding and subtracting. Okay? It really depends on the information. Depends. Any questions? Fist of 5, I can do this. I'm going to need some practice. Okay. 3 is practice. Good, but that means you're on the right track. Yeah, and if you get confused, this video will be online. Okay? All right, get to work.